In this video, I'm gonna turn this broken old snow sled into a dirt cheap DIY log sled. You wanna know how? Just watch the video and find out. So, here is how this project is gonna play out. I'm gonna start with modifying the snow sled, turning it into a log sled. And then I'm going to take it up in the forest where I will fell a tree and buck it into suitable lengths and pull those logs to my forest camp. And this is something I wanted to do last winter when I struggled a bit moving logs up in the forest. But now when there's snow on the ground again, it's a good time trying out using a log sled. And I don't think they will come any cheaper or easier than this one. No time to waste, let's get on with the project. These are the ingredients for the project: a snow sled and some rope that I happen to have in the shed. I'm gonna take it inside of the workshop. First, I'm gonna cut off the rear end of the snow sled and loose this little harness thing here and untangle this. Great. I don't know if I'm going to have any use for this or not, but I'm gonna take it off in one piece just in case. Come on then. I'm gonna cut it somewhere here where the back shape starts to rise. If I go any further back, there will be a lot more material cut through, so I'm gonna do it somewhere here where the sides of the rail start to bend up. Things never stay put unless you force them to. Just splits, really. I'm gonna try cutting it from underneath instead. See if it's less likely to crack that way. There's really no way supporting this without making that into a project of its own, so I'm just gonna try and hold it with my hand and do the best I can. In the end, this doesn't have to be pretty. Yeah, that's the front part of the snow sled. Now for the harness. I don't really have a totally developed idea of how to do this, but I'm gonna try a little bit with the rope. If it works, I'm gonna develop it further later on. I'm gonna take the rope like a sling over my neck and under my arms like that and pull it like a donkey or a horse, really. Perhaps there's an old backpack somewhere on a flea market or somewhere. I can just use the harness from that one, or I'll make one myself, I don't know, but I'm gonna try just using a rope at first. I'm gonna do it on one tree and won't pull it very far, so any inconvenience will just not be that big of a problem, but it will give me one or two conclusions about if it works and how to develop it, I guess. Anyway, enough talk. This is actually ready to go out in the woods and be tested. All right, let's go into the woods. I'm gonna fell this leaning spruce here. It's a smaller tree, but I'll take it down as a first test of the log sled. There's a dead one behind it, leaning into it, so I'll have to be careful when it falls. Well, I get two for the price of one and making the forest a bit safer as well. Brought two axes this time, my boy's axe and my felling axe. I'll leave the boy's axe for later, for limbing. Gonna do the felling with the larger one. Alright, let's go. I'm starting with the face cut first. Yeah. I guess I should have expected that, right? And I'm constantly keeping my eye on that one. Wouldn't have been such a bad thing to push it down first. You know what, I'm just gonna try and push it anyway and see if it falls on its own. Why did I choose this tree? Yeah, that actually feels a lot better. Oh great, right on top of another tree. See if I can slide it down anyway. Well, it's on the ground. That's one thing. There we go. Not the cleanest felling I've done, but it's down. Nice and safe. My previous logs I've bucked to 3 meter lengths. Don't know exactly what that is in feet, 9 or 10 feet I guess. So I'm gonna do the same with this one. We had some wet downfall a couple of days ago, and then finally it became cold. So bucking this is a little bit like cutting through ice, actually. That's another spruce. That's dangerous. Standing dead on its root. Leaning severely. I guess I'll have to help it down eventually if the wind doesn't take care of it. It's bark beetles that kills them off. I guess there are a couple of theories of why. One, I think, is important is the logging companies in Sweden. They manage their forests with clear cutting, and opening up the forests to the sun like that makes the bark beetles thrive. And since they only thrive on spruce, and the forest companies only plant one species of trees, mainly spruce or pine, the problems have gotten severe over time. Compared to if you have a mixed forest with all kinds of species, you don't have nearly as much bark beetles there. It's leaning away from the tree I'm working on, so I'm not really worried now, but I have to address it sooner or later if Samson, our son, is going to be able to play up here safely. Now it's just the top of the tree left. Perhaps I'll come back and cut it up for firewood, but I don't think it's suitable for lumber in any way. I have 4 logs from this tree. Let's see if I can shift the 2 smaller ones with my little log sled. The other 2 were a bit too heavy. I'm not sure if there's a lot of water trapped inside of them that froze quickly when it suddenly turned cold here. I've set up the sled on the ground, and as you can see there's quite a lot of surplus rope after I pulled it out to what I estimate will be a good length for pulling it. So I'm gonna place 2 of the logs in those leg compartments and tie them together. I'll try to pull them back to the camp. Whatever, it's just a test run. Well, it worked fairly well, I'd say, for first test at least. One major thing doing this is to be really thorough with the limbing, so you don't have any knots sticking out catching into the ground. Apart from that, it works quite alright. I'll just put them like this temporarily to get them off the ground, but I'll come back here some other day and peel the bark from them. I'll probably use these small logs for poles, or maybe split them. I have an idea of building a roof with split logs. Alright, good test. I think it's worth doing. It would probably be better with a slightly more heavy duty snow sled to begin with, but this was free. It actually came from the recycling station, so I actually thought it was totally okay cutting it up and trying this, but a sturdier sled to begin with would probably be better, probably last longer as well. This was easily cracked, as you saw in the workshop when I cut it in half in the beginning of the video. The sun is setting and I have to go home, but I'm gonna call this a success with the chance for an upgrade. I will probably not make a harness for it because I thought it was comfortable enough using the rope pulling it, but I will make some sort of upgrade to the fastening system for the logs. That's what I will do. I'm gonna put this in my lean-to now and leave it here for next time and see if I can pull those other bigger logs back to the camp. Maybe I'll have to take one at a time. And those being bigger logs and all, I will probably put on the trestles here and hew into timber beams. Make lumber for my upcoming constructions here in the camp. And if you want to see what that will be, I guess you'll just have to subscribe to the channel and come back, right? And if you're interested in how it looks when I hew logs for lumber, I have a link for you up here. You can watch that till we meet again with a new video. Until then, take care.